it's great to have you here. I'm the author of AB 18 and trying to reform California's school finance system. And so bear with me, it gets kind of complicated, but I want to try to express my feelings about this bill to the very best degree that I can. So what we know is that California's school finance system is woefully out of date, it's convoluted, and it is the biggest impediment to making significant improvements in academic achievement for every child in California. 3 decades of court-mandated, voter-influenced reforms have also turned this system into a state centralized structure that is absurdly complex and is not designed toward the outcome of improving student achievement. It is also impossible to determine how much revenue each district or school receives and how those revenues are spent. Inequality is rampant in our current finance system. An English language learner in one district is provided resources that a similar English language learner in another district is denied. The same is true for children who come from poverty. And even in the same school district, some schools are better funded than others. And in too many cases, the lowest performing schools are funded with the least amount of resources. This cannot stand in a democratic society. We need a new interface for school finance, one that is simple, transparent, and empowers parents, teachers, and communities to take back their schools and hold them accountable. We need a new system that is equitable and targets resources so every California student has their rightful opportunity to succeed. Education is the civil rights issue of our time. A quality education provides the most critical path to jobs that offer sustainable wages and economic stability for our California families. A quality education ensures an educated electorate, the fundamental foundation of our democracy. Since I was elected in 2006, I have pursued legislation to address the inequities and opportunity gaps that persist in our current finance system by establishing working groups to work out all the details for a new system of school finance for California. Although every bill won bipartisan support, the last bill was vetoed by our former governor, Governor Schwarzenegger. Conceptually, everyone has agreed that we need to do this reform, but there was never a call to action to do it. So this year, I introduced AB 18, a bill that lays out in all of its detail a new funding allocation for K-12 schools in the most equitable and transparent way. AB 18 calls for 3 primary funding streams. One provides a base level of funding that all schools and students receive and give local school boards greater control over resources, because we know every student is different, every school district is different, and one size does not fit all. Another, and the most important, weights or targets funds to English learners and low-income students, because we know students who are poor or need to learn English and simultaneously have to keep up with all of their other learning need more support to be successful. And finally, a third stream targets money for quality classroom instruction, so our resources are strategically focused on the very best conditions for teaching and learning. No schools would lose funding under this plan. Instead, when new revenues become available, as the economy improves and we will have more money to invest in our schools, that money will be distributed in a more equitable way so that all children will eventually have the same opportunities to learn. AB 18 is a work in progress, and now that there's a detailed plan in place, I hope the education community will collaborate with me in fine-tuning this legislation. I need all of you and your help to ensure that they will. We as Californians value education. Poll after poll has shown Californians reject further cuts to schools. We are at the bottom in per pupil spending, and any other indicator you want to put forward, we are dead last as compared to all the other states in our country. So we need to invest more in our public schools. In 2009, the legislature passed a resolution that I carried, voicing its intent to allocate sufficient funds to bring per pupil spending up to and beyond the national average and to a level that covers the actual costs of successfully educating our diverse student population. We have set high standards for our students in California, and that's a good thing. If we let them down by failing to give them the tools they need to learn and to meet those standards, our state's economy will flunk, and it will flunk big time. Our state and our educational system are on the brink of failure, and of California turning her back on generations of children. And studies show high school graduation reduces crime by 20% or more. If we endure any more cuts, I'm afraid the only schooling our children will get will be on the streets or in our prisons. This is shameful, and it must stop, not just for our children's sake, but for the future of California. This must stop, and it must stop now. Our economy is showing signs of improvement. The first thing we must do is to make sure our schools are adequately funded and they have the resources they need to deliver a quality education to all of our children. In the meantime, now is the best time to develop a new school finance system that is fair and equitable, so when we do have more revenue, we can begin to close a persistent financial divide in California that has created a wider and wider opportunity gap for our growing population of children in our state. We can be a state where all children thrive if it is our will to do so. First, we must allocate our existing resources more equitably, and then we need to invest more. An adequate investment to cover the actual cost of educating our diverse student population will ensure a bright future, both morally and economically, for California. We must move ahead. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your advocacy.